Good afternoon. This is Charlotte Pierce with the Independent Publishers of New England. We're here with the IPNE office hours, which we've gradually morphed over from indie office hours. We kind of waffle back and forth in calling it. It's really both, but it's sponsored largely by the Independent Publishers of New England, and I'm the interim president there. We just had our annual meeting and elected a whole new board. Some members are coming back, but we have two new members who I'd like to talk about here briefly. I've got Laura Williams, my faithful co-host, and we are going to, after we do the introduction, we're going to talk a little bit about how authors can maximize their effect on social media by fleshing out their profiles. So we'll be looking at some of the profiles of major social media platforms and how you can and how and why you should have those completely filled out and maintained on a timely basis. So we can't emphasize that enough, right, Laura?
No, absolutely not.
And I'm, you know, when you look at mine are not going to be completely up to snuff. So, you know, Laura will tell me what I need to do. And so, yeah, we have, I'm going to share the board, the introduction, or the board bios and a screen share. We have Christine Frost joined the board halfway through the year when we had someone leave. And she's a terrific, she's very savvy with social media. I think, Laura, you've probably met her on one of our office hours. She works for T1D, which is Type 1 Diabetes Exchange, and it helps people get information about diabetes care and holistic and effective treatments and lifestyles for diabetes. She's actually a very accomplished novelist as well. Can you see the screen share?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. She's an accomplished novelist, and her latest one is Whiskey and Rue. She was with us at the Boston Book Festival, signing copies of that. And I haven't read her books yet, but just some smatterings of them. I think she does a really good job of highlighting really strong and strong women characters. That's one of her niches, and in their kind of speculative fiction novels. Pat O'Brien is an incumbent. She's coming back. She has a press called Tamarack Press in Vermont, and she's an accomplished editor and writer as well, and she's past president of the League of Vermont Writers. I'm really excited to introduce Paul Parisi, who's the CEO of HF Group and Acme Bookbinding in Boston, Mass. It's a large group that's constantly acquiring more different types of businesses relating to publishing. So they are into preservation, bookbinding, printing. They do a really good job printing. They have a very high work ethic. So he's going to be very informative and helpful for IPNE. So.
And he does POD too?
Yes, they do POD. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So you don't have the distribution. I think there's some distribution arrangement, but Lightning Source, you don't have that, you know, the Ingram thing, but I'm not sure. I shouldn't really speak. They might have some arrangement with distributors. There's me, and everybody knows me, I think. I'm tired of talking about myself. Crystal Ponte of Blue Lobster Book Company in Maine. I just have to... we're really excited to have a Maine a member of the board from Maine, because we are trying to cover all of New England, and this will give us a good contact up there.
Oh, I love that logo. That's cute.
Yeah, isn't that cool? I asked her in an email. I said, well, can you explain the blue lobster thing? But I kind of get it. I'm sure there's a story, but and she does focus on self-published authors and services for them, so that's really cool. Welcome, Crystal. Hope we can have you on the office hours here soon. So I'm hoping to bring them all on for a personal introduction.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. And we are going back to the, who else did I forget? Okay. Kathy Wang is our treasurer, and she's coming back. She's a CPA and works out of the fabulous Cambridge Innovation Center in Cambridge, Mass, where we had our annual meeting. And man, that place is so cool. If you're looking for office space in the Boston area, you can't go wrong doing that as an independent person or entrepreneur, because there's so much dynamic energy there. And when you get, it's cic.us, I think. When you get space, you can use all their printing facilities, their conference facilities. We had this amazing conference room for the annual meeting that was looking out over the Charles River. Just and it's all part of your rent. So if you get a table space, it's kind of like a shared area for $450 or $500 a month or something. You get all that stuff with it. So you can book a private room, private conference room, use any of the AV facilities, shipping services. You know, it's just, it sounds like a lot maybe for an independent person, but it does help.
Like that here.
Yeah, you know, I wish we had something in Arlington, which is pretty close by, but it's something that communities are looking at as sort of incubators, innovation centers, and this one is one of the largest, I think, and most active in the country.
Well, I would think that it's just, you know, it would really add that bartering system to your business. I mean, you know, I'll do this for you if you do this for me, and you can be close enough together to understand, you know, what that would take. And I think it would be a great. I wish we would do that here. I wish we would do something like that.
Yeah, it's
off space, but
yeah, it takes somebody who's going to champion it in a community, I think. But
yeah, it's like I told you. I have to drive 15, 20 minutes away to get this particular magazine because this place is so backward.
Yeah, but you probably have advantages with that too.
Well, it's quieter, I guess.
It's quiet, yeah. All right. So we were going to have our friend Curtis Strickland on today, but he's a graduate student, so he ran into some conflicts of time, and will come back next week. He's a really cool guy. He's doing workforce development program in Kansas City, Kansas, and is a fiction author, a science fiction with a social conscience, I guess you'd call it, and we really enjoyed talking with him. So Curtis will come back maybe next week, maybe another time, but we have plenty to talk about, don't we, Laura?
Yes, I think so.
Would you like to bring up something like if we're going to talk about developing your profiles on social media, I would like to have an example that people can look at.
You know what I think I should start with is I'm going to show my LinkedIn profile, and the reason is because a lot of people are missing this piece. They might have Facebook and Twitter, but they forget about LinkedIn. And I think for any author, it's so important to be on LinkedIn, because a publisher would go to look for your LinkedIn profile to see who you really are. And missing that piece, I think, is do you any good at all.
I have I have those annoying notifications set for LinkedIn, but it helps me because every time I click on one, somebody's sent me a message or something. I go to LinkedIn and I check out my profile, or not every time, but that helps me kind of remember, because I don't use LinkedIn all that much, and maybe I should. But go ahead.
Let me go to screen share so you can see what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me find it.
Yeah, I sprung this on you. You weren't quite ready for
Well,
this.
what it is that the Hangout's actually in a tab, so it's not picking up the tab that I want. Maybe if I just go to it and entire screen.
We have a nice comment from Michael Dutton, who's one of our members. I don't know why the stream is not on the window, but I've got it in the expanded one.
Is it showing? Is it showing it now, Charlotte?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead with what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Michael Dutton, he's one of our members, and he's written a series. He's writing a series called Christmasville, and it's a fiction series, but the second one has just come out, and he says, "Thanks for the invitation, but I'll be working with HRL all day. That's my financial accounting reporting and accounting services company. Thank you as well for placing Christmasville in the free library at your park. What a clever idea, establishing a lending library in a park. Perhaps I should set something up in Linden Park as well." So we have this little library that the community built, and you put a book in, and you can take one out. You don't have to do.
Right, we have that at the library. I mean, at the park. What are the parks here? Where
Great, yeah.
Somebody can. Yeah, it's always
such a cool thing, and
it's always full of books.
Yeah, I took a picture of his books. I put the two of them in because I had them from the Rhode Island Authors Expo, and I put them in and took a picture and posted it on social media. So, that's one of the advantages you have when you join Independent Publishers of New England. You have people that are obsessive about social media like me, posting pictures of your books. Laura, you want to go ahead with your LinkedIn? Is this your LinkedIn profile?
Yes, and it's I can't seem to get it to switch over to the public side, but I don't know why that is. It just doesn't want to. But the thing about a LinkedIn profile is a lot of people will put in like a few little parts of their background and things like that, but there's so many things that you can add. You can add videos to it, you can add graphics to it, and there's no reason to not take advantage of those things. So it's almost like your own web page, if you think of it that way, to where you can put in a lot of information that helps people connect with you.
So you put that stuff under posts?
Well, that under posts is anything that I publish on LinkedIn. Now that they've opened publishing to everybody, is my understanding, because I did it before. It was open to everybody. Now that you can do that, there's no reason to take some of your best posts that you've done in the past or new posts and repurpose them into LinkedIn, and that way you can start to propagate that post section, which is particularly important for writers, because if a publisher is looking at your LinkedIn profile, they'll want to check out things that you've written. They'll want to see, like if you have video on there, how well you present yourself. Those things are important when they're trying to think about how they're going to market you or help you in your marketing. So it really gives you a great opportunity to flesh things out.
And you never know when an agent or somebody will be crawling by.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, to fill in your experience very well, if you have books that you've already published, make sure all that information is in there in a really cohesive way, that highlights what you do. And honestly, if you don't, some people, the problem with putting their profiles together is they don't know what to say. There's just a plethora of great articles out there on how to build a good LinkedIn profile. And if you still have trouble, I mean, hire somebody to do it. But you really shouldn't have to. You should be able to, figure it out yourself. But it's a great way. So you can put in all your publications, different articles you've done in different areas for different people. Like I mean, mine. I've had mine up for a while, so it's pretty well developed. This area here is top skills. These are skills that I've all been endorsed by different
Oh, that's how
people
that
on
turns.
LinkedIn.
I
Yeah,
get those endorsement things, and I never know. I haven't really looked at how they render in the profile.
yeah, yep. So that's where that is, and then other things that I have talents at, and then also there's recommendations. Like Carmen Rojas, wrote me a wonderful recommendation. There's different things that you can use. You can ask, people that you do work with to give you recommendations, and that helps flesh it out really well. Different groups that you can belong to, the people that you follow. I mean, all these are little bits of information that start to tell your story of who you are as a writer or a publisher, so that people will take you more seriously in the LinkedIn space. And
And
that's
just
what.
think about it, if you're busy, you're every day, you've got stuff going on, but if you allocate a little bit of time, just maybe one social media platform a day or one aspect of it, it could be that time when you're heading to a conference and somebody just comes by and you don't want to have out-of-date stuff on there.
No, and I was going to show you the Google Plus profile too, my About page, because well, there's quite a bit on here, but I mean, this could actually be better. I think that my other one is better, but it gives you plenty of opportunities on Google Plus to tell your story. You have your introduction. You can put in different links, different, all your websites, all your social media profiles. And the reason I point this out is a lot of people forget to put in the links to all their different social media profiles, and I use these all the time to connect with people.
You can link almost anything, even a document you can link, especially if you use Google Drive. And that's a whole subject that I really want to get into, because that has saved my life so many times. Having a common or a collaborative document that you can work on, or just one that you can share just in an instant.
Right.
You just go to the thing, click the URL in the top bar, or it will provide you with a link if you ask it nicely.
And also in Hangouts, the way they have now put it to where you can share a document right in chat. So you can share a document, like if I shared something with you now, we could begin to work on it right inside this video and be able to talk back and forth as we did it. I had a discussion with somebody actually with my dad just a couple of days ago, and it was about how just this past few weeks that Google has approved their connectivity between their apps and the different things that you can do, and it really is opening it up further to, a lot of things. They've done away with the idea that you have to be on Google Plus to have access to certain things, and has really opened it up to,
I think that will definitely boost them, because that's the #1 issue I was having with doing Hangouts with my teams, on IPNE and publishing. You have to kind of educate everybody. Half of them are totally resistant. But now you can just put up a link and they can cruise right in, especially if you have a Google Apps for Business, which we do with IPNE. That's what we're using here. So theoretically, I think we could have anybody give anybody that link and they could come right in, right?
Oh yeah.
And I have let's see, I want you to critique my Google Plus profile. I haven't actually worked on it for a while, but these are communities. You can put the communities you're involved with, and I have too many communities as usual. Education, basic information. You can actually put in nicknames that you use if you're looking for dates. And see, oh yeah, I should see. I need to take this down. Google Reader isn't available anymore.
Since you just mentioned that, that's something that I think is imperative. is to set a date about every 3 months, if not more often, to go through your profiles and make sure that your information's up to date, that you add new publications that you've done, that you know, keep it fresh and keep it interesting, because if you let it's so easy to let it go for a year or more, and our lives change so dramatically in the online space.
And things come and go, like this Google Reader is not available. I'm going to see what it puts up there. See, thank you for stopping by. It's been discontinued. That's not a good thing to have on your profile.
Right.
You know, it's just another ding against the attention span that people have to spend with you. Here's my Twitter profile. So if someone comes across me on Google+, they can go to my profile there without leaving the Google+.
Yep.
So there it is. And then they'll pop right into the Twitter. And so these...
And it's so helpful. Like I had just 2 days ago, I gained a new follower actually through LinkedIn for an article that I wrote. And she went to my LinkedIn profile. She connected with me on Google+, Twitter, and Facebook. So it's helpful to me in my business, but it's also just makes it so much easier for when you gain followers, for them to connect with you everywhere. And
right, and Twitter has really revamped their interface. Just to, you know, every time I go, I see things like this. So there are people who, you know, may have come across me on Google+, jump over here and they say, "Oh, I didn't know she did this, you know, this author interview series," and you can play it right in there. I mean,
yeah, and that's just no, it really is. It really is. And I mean, all those little bitty bits all add up to build a platform for you. And if you take the time to really make an effort to build yourself really informative profile for all your social media,
and
that I think is
you have. I just wanted to mention, when you go from one to the other, then go and look. The Twitter profiles here, view profile, and then you could kind of leapfrog from one to the other. Let's see, settings, right? Is it settings? Yeah. So there's the things that you need to, you know, maybe I don't, but you're kind of limited on the number or the email address you can use on Twitter. But there are things that you can set. And then you can go to the next one from here. I think, have you worked on your Twitter profile lately?
On the writing biz I have.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if you could put in other social media sites.
Oh, let me look. You know, I honestly don't recall.
Cards and shipping. Huh.
Let me go to
email notification, web, muted accounts, design, apps, and widgets. Apps and widgets are something I don't do that much with, or I mean widgets. But apps are the ones that it's kind of a personal thing, whether you want to connect it with these different apps that you use.
No, I don't see that I do. I mean, I have my website on there.
Yeah, I think that's what you can put on.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
But while we're talking about that too, is make sure that across your platforms, your imagery is the same, so that they know immediately that they found the right person. You know, and I mean, I do a couple of different ones, just like Charlotte does. Is that I have, you know, a different branding for my business as opposed to the Writing Biz show. But I try to keep the look and very cohesive across the platforms, so there's no mistake if something pops up in their stream on any one of the platforms that they follow me on, that they know that's from me.
Yeah, no, I've got to work on this IPNE one, but you know, they've changed the background stuff since I set it up. But this goes. I logged out of my other one and I went into the IPNE, and so that shows you. You know, how kind of I manage that, and I have one for Pierce Press, and one, you know, I have a number of different Twitter accounts. But.
Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah. And that being said, too, is that, you know, use the tools that are available to you. Use Hootsuite or Buffer or whatever you can to bring everything into one place so you can easily manage it in a short amount of time, as opposed to having to jump in and out on all different, you know, accounts and going through all that nonsense.
Do you use Hootsuite or Buffer?
Hootsuite.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my Hootsuite. You can set up. You can have all your different Twitter accounts. You can have your different.
I think both Buffer and Hootsuite are great products. I think that the only real difference to me is it's a visual thing for me. So I found Hootsuite to fit more into how I see things, especially since they
definitely
design. And then I love the new design.
When you set a tweet, you know, this is in Hootsuite, and then you can choose to tweet it out. You can choose the account that you want to tweet it out on. So, say we're gonna do it on IPNE, and then we're gonna do it. Let's see. Here's our. Yeah, there's the scheduling thing, right? Yeah. So I'm going to set it up for 2:40 p.m.
And also you can use Hootsuite to build a bulk list. So in other words, you could set up tweets for a week or more, you know, I mean, even just a couple of days, and have those go out just whatever you set at the time. It takes a little bit to set up the initial spreadsheet, but once that's done, then it's just a matter of moving things around. And,
so you actually put them on a spreadsheet and schedule them that way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that way I don't have, I have something almost going out all the time, but I don't have. I actually have to create a new one the next couple of days, but I don't have to, be standing over the Hootsuite to make sure it happens.
Yeah, right. Well, what else? Let's see, Google Plus, Hootsuite, or I mean, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook page is another one that I use. And I get slightly annoyed with Facebook, but whatever.
For publishers and writers, though, Facebook works.
Yeah.
Because that's a good connection to people that you know. I mean, people that are your fans or readers.
And they do a good job of letting you put all your pages. So these are all my pages. I've got Independent Publishers of New England. And then I've got the St. John's Coffee House Concerts, which I manage. So anything that's kind of got a consumer orientation, I try and put up a page for it. So this is another project I'm involved with, and then my church, the Pedagogy Handbook, Face the Book, which is our author interview series, some community stuff, and campaign. So community, consumer, that kind of stuff.
But if you're doing social media just for yourself, for just your one business, or you're an author for your personal brand, it shouldn't, once you have the tools set up, it really shouldn't take you more than an hour a day, and usually not even an hour a day to manage everything, because you don't have to constantly put information out. You just have to make sure you put good information out and interesting things that'll draw people's attention.
Yeah,
and you have some consistency to it. I mean, you don't want to walk away and not do anything for a month and then come back. That's not going to work for you.
And then if you focus your content on things that will bring you exposure or attract the attention of people that you need to, like readers, agents, publishers, distributors, that kind of stuff, then it's good time well spent.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be excruciating. You can also hire people to do it for you.
Right.
Like Laura, you have some clients that you do social media for, right? Yeah. So we're kind of running toward the end of our thing. Is there anything else you want to talk about? No,
I would just say that there's so many available free resources to help you understand how to build out your profiles and how to start using social media to go and look for them. There's a ton of YouTube videos, ton of articles. You don't have to be in the dark because you don't know what to do. Just take some time to learn it, and you'll find it's really helpful. There's great information out there.
Yeah, and I like to, I mean, I was hesitant about YouTube videos at first because I just don't like to stop and sort of watch something. But you can see the rating, they have ratings. You can also see the length of time. You can also you can zip through them and sometimes if people are really with it, they have put a what do you call it, a timeline or a, you know, the major points, like you do in your blog posting sometimes. So you can see when they're covering major points in the video. So if there's something specific that you need to know, then...
Yeah, I'll tell you, YouTube's have saved me so many times. I just went through a big thing where I had to build a local server on my laptop.
Yeah.
And it was not for Craig Chamberlain's YouTube video, I would have had such a problem. But it's good for me being a visual learner, so I get the visual plus the voice. And then I also take notes, so I kind of get that three-pronged learning approach that works for me.
And see how they do it. If you're an author who's interested in this, you can produce your own videos. You can use a screen recording program, and that can be just do a little 2-minute video on something that you know about, and or a book trailer, and put it up there. And there's people searching. Search is the king. You know, there's there's people searching for for any number of things, millions of things all the time. So anyway, thank you so much, Laura. This was a good session. And
thanks, Hotshot.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And we are going to be introducing our board in the next couple of weeks, our new board members for IPNE, and some of the things that we're doing up here in New England. If you're an author in another part of the country, we have content that's relevant to all authors and publishers on a weekly basis, Tuesdays at noon, and on the office hours. There's also live organizations in your own area, most likely, authors, writers groups, publishing groups, highly recommended. And if you can get one that's affiliated to the Independent Book Publishers Association, that's even better because they have terrific resources for you. Thanks again, and we'll be back next week, Tuesday at noon. Thanks, Laura.
Thanks.